Good morning, I am Tracy Spence with your newscast. This newscast is brought to you courtesy of BioLife Energy Systems. Come join the living. Call them at 800-875-5433. USA Credit Repair, the key to beautiful credit. You may call them at 800-786-1330. Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, weekdays 9:30 a.m. on Saturdays 7 p.m. and 12 noon on Sundays. And the Supreme Power Homes, call them at 800-493-9002. Now for the news in details. The four Jamaican fishermen who were detained by United States immigration officials despite being cleared by a Florida court of drug charges are now back in Jamaica. Attorney at law Bert Samuel shared the news to social media yesterday with a photo of the four. He had highlighted the saga of the four on Monday. Samuels told the media that the men were arrested by the U.S. Coast Guard in October after it was alleged that they were found with 150 gallons of liquid cocaine on a boat registered in Jamaica, the Lady Lala, which was destroyed by the Coast Guard. But the matter was thrown out by Judge Chris McIley of the Southern District of Florida on the basis that there was no evidence of a find of liquid cocaine and that instead it was merely gasoline, which had been misidentified as such. U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica Donald Tapia on Wednesday told reporters that efforts were being made to get the men on a flight and have them home as soon as possible. Jamaica public sector unions want the government to state clearly its plans for workers when the new round of wage talks begin in 2021. Kevin Gill, President General of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, says there are several factors which must be taken into consideration, especially the financial limitations caused by the coronavirus pandemic. However, Mr. Gill says the unions need to know what they are up against so that there is an effective action plan for which both the government and the trade unions are jointly accountable. Speaking Thursday on a current affairs program, Mr. Gill said the trade unions will not be entering the negotiations in a combative mode. The current public sector wage agreement ends on March 31. Meanwhile, Grenada's Keith Mitchell-led administration has announced the country's first female Attorney General. Just months after being appointed Solicitor General, Dia C. Forrester Gillinew was on Thursday morning appointed Attorney General, replacing Sharon Ramdini, who served in the post from January 2019 to December 30, 2020. Ramdani stepped down to serve as a judge in the British Virgin Islands, following which he will be returning to private practice. With her appointment, Forrester Gillinew is the first woman to be appointed to the post since the first Attorney General was appointed in 1763 when Grenada became a British colony. The new Attorney General has more than 11 years of experience working not only in Grenada since passing the bar in 2008, but also in St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla. Her area of practice include banking and finance law, commercial and civil litigation, taxation, insolvency, and intellectual property law. In sports, the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, J3A, says it is pleased with the outcome of Monday's calendar conference, which was held virtually for the very first time and which drew a record number of over 50 participants. The event is usually held earlier in the year but was pushed back due to the coronavirus pandemic, and the newly elected President Garth Gale gave it 2 thumbs up and said all the objectives had been achieved. Assistant Honorary Secretary Brian Smith, who directed proceedings during the discussions about the scheduling of the remainder of meets to be held in 2021, said given the success of the virtual meeting, that route may be the way to go in the future. Despite calls for the recent annual general meeting, the J3A had staunchly refused to stage it, and the voting virtually as outgoing President Dr. Warren Blake had cast doubts about the veracity of the platforms. And that is it for the news. This newscast came to you courtesy of BioLife Energy Systems. Come join the living. Call them at 800-875-5433. USA Credit Repair, the key to beautiful credit. You may call them at 800-786-1330. Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, weekdays 9:30 a.m. on Saturdays 7 p.m. and 12 noon on Sundays. And the Supreme Power Homes, call them at 800-493-9002. On behalf of the news and production team, I'm Tracy Spence. Do have a good morning.